Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to another spine tingling, hair raising episode of Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And today we're jumping back into the deep blue waters of the Pacific. It is Christmas Day in 1941. Are we faring better than the Allies did? I think so. Maybe we're holding our own. We see a lot of Japanese troops just parading down Malaya here. I am right now centered over this task force right here. And we had a transport task force that was heading to Tajilajap. Maybe mispronounced, but I still like to say it that way. We had this task force moving down this way, and we felt very fortunate when it came out of Singapore. I thought we were home free. This task force contains the 224 RAF, a good bunch of British airmen. Well, I think that they're more support for the airmen, but definitely a command headquarters we wanted to protect, take care of, and we headed on three transports. As you see it right now, there are only two transports. The Van Imhoff seems to have met Davy Jones' locker at the bottom of the sea, unfortunately. A Japanese sub here, and I was wondering about this at the end of last turn. We did have this sub attack. We saw the Van Imhoff went down. It indeed went down. It's down. And so that, if we go and look, now I was looking at this earlier, we have this split off, this offshoot, and I think these are the guys they fished out of the water. Unfortunately, they've been loaded onto the rest of Task Force 585, the ill-fated Task Force 585. But I think they're on here now because the Van Imhoff has gone down. Hopefully they can make it beyond this. Now, this sub activity kind of upsets me. As the commander of all Allied forces in the Pacific, we have a lot of anti submarine work that is happening right in this strait. I mean, we have British destroyers that are an 8 on anti sub, a couple of them actually. We have several ships that are 2s. But this sub has eluded us and has now taken down some of the British RAF. We'll see. I mean, we'll see when we resolve this turn. Can they get through the strait? Can they get down to Tajilajap, which is where we were trying to head them? Because a lot of this British air power will try eventually to get down to Java. A lot of that will go to Batavia. A lot of it's already there, whether it be Batavia or Surabaya. And you can see British level bombers are here at Batavia. We do have a level bomber here at Surabaya. But these Singapore squadrons that are up here, the British squadrons, maybe even the Australians and the Kiwis in blue, the Australians in green, we will be trying to bring to Java. So we were trying to get the 224 off because the 223 had lost a coin toss and had to stay in Singapore as our kind of last line of air defense before the Japanese arrive. Little did they know that their brethren were going to meet a watery grave out here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, we got a lot of things in on Christmas Day. Some of that at Abaddon, some of it at Aden. You can see the little anchors here. And so let's go up here to Abaddon and see what's going on. We have two new ships in port because we generally have zero, right? If they're in port, we need to get them put in a task force, and we've been doing that very well. And so we'll go see those in a second, but let's see the task forces that are already here. And so we have this British task force, which strangely enough, it's Tanker Karachi. They didn't unload all the way. And I'm kind of wondering why the British Unity comes back here with 39% capacity. I don't like that. I don't like that. So evidently they, unembarked. Is that a word? They disdocked. Somehow they came out of Karachi still with some fuel left here. Okay, well, they should start fueling up again. We do have this on continuous supply to Karachi for fuel. We've turned over control of that to the game. Cargo Karachi, we do not have this as a continuous supply. This is Clan McIver. Clan McIver has pretty decent capacity, pretty decent endurance. I think the idea here is we would like it to put it with some other like ships, and not just send it in its own task force every time. Maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. Here we go. Fuel Karachi. We've got another CS Karachi. The Athelmere is loading fuel, as is the Alphard and the Vera. So they're all loading fuel. This is just going back and forth. Now, we do have two cargo ships doing that. Why is that? Well, I mean, you are paying a penalty for having AKs do that, but we've got 150,000 tons of fuel. 21,000 of supply. We've got to take as much fuel out of Abaddon as possible. So let's see what is actually in port here. It is another two AK ships. Okay, the Ariande or Ariadne Muller has a 14,000 endurance, a really big capacity. So you could take fuel with that. You could also take this all the way down to Perth. The Borhora, sure. Barhora, all right, better. 6,000 endurance, 2,900 cap. That needs to go in just kind of your run of the mill, and that's not run of the mill. That's not run of the mill. So we'll have to just figure out which of these two, or put them, we're probably not going to put them in these task forces. We need to figure out what to do with them. I think the Arad, gosh darn it, I'm going to struggle with this one forever. Ariadne Mullah. We'll put it in its own task force, and I guess we'll put it as a tanker. Nope, that doesn't work. It's a straight AK, so you can't do that. We'll just have to do it as a cargo. All right, so we'll put the Muller in a cargo task force. Okay, nice. And I think we'll do fuel though, because even though it's a fantastic cargo ship, it can now get 4,000 tons of fuel on it. So I think we should do that. And I think we'll start running down to Perth with some of these. So this will be the first one out of Abaddon that goes to Perth. So let's use the mini map. Get down here to Perth on the western side of Australia. Let's see what kind of Okay, that all looks good, right? I mean, we're coming straight off Colombo. I mean, if I was being really crazy about it, I would say, well, they may have some submarine activity here, and we take it to this side of Mail. Okay, well, we're a little crazy, so we are going to do waypoint 1 to just go to the west of Adu and around this way, because the Japanese do have subs there in and around Colombo. And I realize that's being a little over the top, but you kind of have to be. CS Perth, that's good. Let's dock it. No, I don't want supplies. Actually, we'll click it off that. We'll say load fuel. Okay, now that we have that, we'll do the CS Perth. Now it's CS for fuel, and that is perfect. And let's go back here and get the Barhora. And we'll make that a straight up cargo, and we'll have that go to Karachi. Now, eventually, we'll find some like ships like this, and we'll put it in with those. But for now, I don't really see anything that makes sense to do that. So let's say its destination is to Karachi. All right. Excellent. Let's dock that. Let's load supplies. This has a low enough capacity. You're gonna definitely want dry cargo for that. So let's do CS Karachi. And I think we're all done in Abaddon. I mean, ultimately, we've got a lot of ships here coming in out of the penalty box, but they're not ready yet, so there's not a whole lot we can do with that. I am kind of curious why that tanker It's not the whole task force. I don't care if one comes back with 7% still on. This isn't it. It's the other one. Nope, not that one. This one. Okay, if they come back on this continuous supply to Abaddon with 7% of their capacity, okay. I mean, that's fine. It's not a big deal, right? 39%, I don't really understand why it would come back with all that fuel. It could be that it's like reloading here. Um, because it's on a CS. That's probably what it is. Okay, I've been angry for no reason. It's probably because it's CS and it's just not showing loading. But I'm used to them always showing, loading fuel, loading supplies. I mean, you see that even with the CS, but I guess it's possible when it comes back the second time, we're not seeing it quite yet. Let's hope that that's the case. We'll check it next time it comes back. We also have a few ships here moving out of the penalty box into Karachi. So, I mean, just continuously, right? We're just stocking up Karachi. Let's go down here for a second. We've got no ships in port. We've got the garrison requirement met. Speaking of which, we need to go look at Colombo to make sure that we're doing that. 17 aircraft here, all running ASW, 20,000 supply, 11,000 fuel. That's good. I mean, we're pumping this full of stuff, but it's all running down these railways. And so, that's fine. It's fine. That 20 and 11, that seems about right for a place that we're just pumping full of stuff, but that's ultimately sneaking out the back door down the railway. We have a little ASW going here. It's in a patrol zone. Came back, got a little fuel. That looks fine. Unloading unloading supply, and then we have a transport here, the Donier. It is just sitting here. Now we may eventually need to bring that up to Aden. We'll see about that. We have a local minesweeper here at Karachi. Of course we do, as we should. Cargo unloading. All right, it's got about 35% of its cargo off. Again, that's a lot of supply. And then we have all of these AKs. They are now fully unloaded and we'll be heading back to Abaddon. This is a CS for supply. So that all looks perfect. And while we're up here, I'm just going to make sure everything looks good in Karachi, Abaddon, wherever we may be. We only have the coastal force here in Abaddon. So that is set up just right. Now let's go to Aden and see what came in here. We now have 8 ships in port. Holy moly. We've got a transport task force, which is really just the Malta, sitting here because you get a lot of troops into Aden. And so let's see what kind of ships came in. Wow. Okay. We've got these APs. Now, I feel like these we already had, right? And we had them disband here. I think they came out of Cape Town, and we've now had them disband. They're ready to go. But we've got these new AKs in here. We've got 16,800. Our situation at Aden is a lot of supply, a little less fuel, right? 21,000 in fuel, 46,000 in supply. So really out of Aden, I mean, you're running a lot of supply. Now, these big endurances like the Empire Rani or Rainy, that really probably needs to go to Australia. That's a huge, huge cargo ship. So let's just do that. Let's put the Empire Rainy in there. Okay, now we can see it a little bit better. It's a speed 12. Okay. We also have the Birchbank and the Governor that could go in here. This is a speed 12, then we have a 13 and a 12. I say we put all three together. And I think I'm going to leave the Admiral Chase and the Ermad here just to help with troops that come into Aden. I mean, it's possible that we'll have troops come in. They have a little too much of a cargo load, so I think we're just going to leave those two here. Let's dock and let's load supply. Because out of Aden, we really want to be running supply. And we'll bring this all the way down to Perth, as I didn't use the mini map. There we go. All right, that looks good. And when it comes out of here, I think we're going to do the same thing with the waypoints, use waypoints. Let's set one, and we'll just go to the left of a do here. So just around that corner, that keeps them out of any possible sub problems. I do want to say return the same route. I should have done that one out of Abaddon the same, and we will here in just 1 second. So that's going to come down here. Now, the Birch Bank actually does not have enough endurance, but they'll share. You can see the round trip's pretty close, right? This task force, 361 on the round trip is kind of their maximum. They are going to do 318, but the Birch Bank can't even do 318. It's probably around 300, right? Because it's what, 46 nautical miles? So it's close. It's around 300 hexes there and back. Right. But anyway, they'll share a little bit of fuel. So that's fine. Let's go back up here to Abaddon and find that task force that we just made because I want to make sure it comes back the same way. Ah, it's the very first. Of course, it's the very first one. Or is it? Hold on. What did we send to Perth? Did I not name it? Fuel Perth. Okay, it was just the molar or the molar, if you prefer. Um, return same route? Yes. Okay. And that'll just have it go back and forth, back and forth. Now, these ships at Aden, should we do continuous supply? Sure. Let's do it. Make sure we do have the same route back. And there they go. All right, perfect. So we've got Abaddon and Aden set up. We still have these ships here at Aden. Few APs, an AK and AKL. Okay. Um, I did want to go around the off-map bases, but I do want to go look at some of this stuff first because I believe on Wednesday the last thing we did was resolve the turn. Now I ran out because I wanted to go see that 224 RAF task force, but we didn't really go over this stuff, and we didn't have the best turn we've ever had, right? I complained about it at the end. It wasn't a bad turn by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a bad turn for us. We're striving for perfection here. So yesterday, so the 24th, we ran 2946 in sorties. The Japanese ran 1927. We're still not quite 2 to 1 anymore, right? It's like 1.5 to 1 that we're running more than the Japanese. Air-to-air losses 7 to 6. Okay, I like to have an advantage there. You know I hate aircraft destroyed on the field. I always feel like that's our fault. Now, that happened just south of Manila at Batangas, right? And Batangas, it is what it is. We moved some aircraft there, and ultimately, you're never going to get everything out of the Philippines. We probably could have moved them a little faster and got them completely out of there. That being said, it's not the end of the world. It's fine. I'm not gonna be too upset about these four. We still only have 23 for the campaign. That's fantastic. We're doing fantastic there. I mean, heck, the Japanese are offensively bombing us everywhere in the map, and they have more aircraft destroyed on the airfield than we do. So we're all right there. Destroyed by flak, we've still got 0. Speaking of, we're not flying any offensive missions. We still have 0 destroyed by flak. The Japanese got 1 yesterday, 22 for the campaign. We had 3 operational losses. Okay. The Japanese had 1, 73-64, still looking good. Uh, these political points, we're going to talk about this in a moment because I don't always do everything during our streams. And I know that peeves Stanley because he's like, when did you do this? I don't understand when you did this. So we're going to go down and see where I spent points in Port Moresby. I did that off camera, but we'll go down there and check it out and see exactly what I did. Our score is still rising. We're actually now above 11,000. For a while, we were at like 10,500. So we've definitely gained there. Here's the scoring breakdown if you want to look through that. Allied ships sunk. This is what I really want to see, though. Right. So we've got our two battleships at the top. Let's just go to last turn. The Van Imhoff. Ugh, a Dutch transport into the sea. Got us with a 53 centimeter Type 95 torpedo. Wow, that's very specific. You know exactly what kind of torpedo that is. Near Oosthaven, indeed it was. We also had a patrol gunboat, the Hindustan, which was Indian, that was sunk by an 18-inch Type 91 torpedo near Rangoon. Okay, that's going to happen. 2-point ship. The Nirvana was also sunk near Rangoon. This was in the same task force that got attacked. That was an 18-inch Type 91 torpedo. All right, okay. That was 11 points though. I hate to lose those, but yet we did. The Van Inhoff was really the headliner, so to speak. Not in a good way. Headlines all over the world. Troop transport sunk off of Oosthaven, and that one hurts. We're still a little behind in this game. I say a little behind. I mean, obviously we are. They attacked Pearl Harbor and had free shots. Since then, I would say it's kind of even, which is what we're going for. Allied Army lost points. We have quite a bit more. We're taking a lot of losses in Malaya and China. Again, to be expected. Did we get an ace? No! Still no ace. Ah, we've got 6 pilots now sitting on 4 kills. We've got, yeah, we look down the leaderboard. This is like the British Open, right? We're looking down the leaderboard. There's a whole host of gentlemen at 3 under par. Then we got a bunch of guys at 2. But we're so close. I can't wait. Oh, wait a minute. Headman was wounded in action. So some of these guys are wounded. They've taken their hits, but I won an ace. I won an ace. Okay. Those are kind of the big things. Now, did we get the Banshees in this time? I thought it was this turn. Is it this turn? Let's go look. They're coming in at Brisbane. No, it's next turn. Shoot. I got all excited there for a moment because I thought maybe those Banshees were here. Let's go look at the aircraft group reinforcement schedule. Yes, 1 day away. Look at that. I was so excited about it. I really thought it was today, and I thought, what a Christmas present. We'll get those Banshees in on Christmas Day, but alas, we have to wait 1 more day. The Yorktown's only 5 days out. Oh, while we're down here, actually, let's just go talk about this for a second. What I did do, if we go over here to Moresby, so you may remember in previous episodes, we had talked about moving some troops over to Buna, and we did that. We decided to do that. But then I was looking at Moresby, and if we look at their ground troops, this I changed this, okay? We had the 30th Australian Brigade. Is that right? I just can't remember now. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, no, no. This is what it was. We had like the 41st, the 43rd, the 32nd. They all made the 30th Australian Brigade. One of those battalions I had going over to Buna. And so it would not allow us to reform the 30th Australian Brigade. Okay. I changed that. I'm now sending these NG rifles, the ACOI and the BCOI. I'm now sending them to Buna, and I kept that battalion around that's part of the 30th. I'm keeping that around, and then I just formed the 30th. The problem with that was they weren't all in 1st Australian Corps, which is what I have all of the Australians that are off of the continent. I have them set as part of the 1st Australian Corps. The reason being is a lot of the things that were already off of the mainland and out on the islands were 1st Australian Corps. So I'm just trying to keep that all consistent. But anyway, the point of it is that one was not part of 1st Australian Corps. It wouldn't let me put it back together until I changed that. So we bought that out for 60 points. Now, you may say, whoa, was that a good investment? Did it really matter that much? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it was a good investment. If you're asking me, should I buy GameStop stock? I mean, was it a good investment? No, probably not. But I really wanted to reform that 30th Australian Brigade. So now it's completely reformed under the 1st Australian Corps. It's proudly marching out with 112 attack value. All good. I feel better about it. And now we have these two small little units going out to Buna, which maybe we should have more than that. I get that, but it made me happy to put this brigade back together. I kind of wish I would have done that while you were here now. Okay, so let's go back up to the top. We've gone through Abaddon and Aden. We're going to work on this part of the map this time, since last time we did the east coast of the United States and looked all down the west coast of the United States as well. Mombasa, we do have some ships coming out here now because Mombasa's at 55,000 supply. There's no reason we can't be running Mombasa to Perth. Absolutely, we can. And so we're going to get a little continuous supply going on there. I feel like there were new ships that came out into Cape Town when we resolved the turn the other day. There were just ships showing up everywhere. And so we'll go look at that momentarily. Now, out here, I can't remember if this RN South Atlantic left and now it's come back. It will if you're not familiar with what this is, it's basically trying to simulate the cargo ships that you would be getting from the British Isles coming down to Cape Town. But rather than you having you run those from, what's the British, uh, what's standing in for the British here in this game, which if we go up here, you can see it, United Kingdom, that's what they call it, the UK. Rather than having you do that, they just do it through this mechanism where you have all of these cargo ships show up, and it's called RN South Atlantic, right? Royal Navy South Atlantic. And it brings naval support, but it brings a lot of cargo as well. But then that'll go away after a time. It's just meant to simulate cargo ships. Anyway, back to the task at hand. We have these cargo ships here. I don't know. I'm always tempted to break these up and put them into port broken up because when they're out here like this, I feel like they should be doing something, but they're really just waiting, right? We have this Dutch one, we have a British one. There's not a whole lot to do. Now, remember, we carried those infantry units out of here finally. The AA, well, they were anti-aircraft units. We finally got them out of here. Let's just go ahead and disband this, I guess. And we'll let these guys sit here as these kind of task forces, or I'm sorry, as transport ships. And let's look at this. So this is the Nora Muller. Now we just saw the other Muller. That's interesting. Maybe that's really signaling to us that we should send that one to Cape Town because it looks like this is a nice Cape Town to Perth ship. Well, they should meet in Perth, right? We've got the one out of Abaddon going to Perth. Let's see what else we have in here. Now that, okay, we've got so many AP. They're all APs. Holy smokes. Well, question whether we whether we need this many APs in Cape Town. Eh, I kind of hate that. I want to send some of them to Aden. Some of these are really low capacity though. Like these two, the Felix Rousseau and the Cap Saint-Jacques, two French. We've got the Australia Star. How about the Empress Scotland, the Empress Australia? Why don't we put them into transport? Oh, wait a minute. What is being considered? Let's look down here for a second. What's being considered air transport? Let's go back. Form a new task force. Air tra Okay, there we go. Oh, I see. The Nora Muller is an air transport. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, Well, that means that this Muller up here must be the same. My fault. I guess I kind of just didn't understand that a little bit. It's nope. Am I gonna do this all again? I am. There it is. Okay. So interesting. So is this considered an air transport as well? Yes. I think it's this Euro L cargo class is considered that. I may send both of these to Aden, maybe? Hmm. I think I will. I think I will. Okay. Let's actually disband this task force. And then if we look back again, will it give us, yes, it does give us the air transport. Okay. Let's put that in there. Done. And let's have that go to Aden, which is generally where you get your aircraft as the British. So we'll set it over to Aden. Alrighty. We there. Nope, didn't happen yet. Okay, so it's Task Force 18, right? British Task Force 18. And now we'll set up this one in Cape Town that's just like that. It's also a Muller. Did I already set that up? Yeah, I did. Okay. And we're going to send that to Aden as well. And then we'll have the two of them just transport aircraft. So let's go that way. Oh, it cannot move to this destination. Okay. There we go. All right. Now let's actually have this meet task force. And which one? Task Force 18. So we'll go over here, click on that, Task Force 18. Yep, we got it. Okay, so now it's going to come out of here. Where's it going to come out? Where did this go? Hmm, why is it not showing us the routing? No, I don't want this to be on follow, by the way. I want that to be on merge. Okay. Okay, well, we've got it set up to go there. I hate to say that. Well, let's hope it happens, but I don't think it's going to draw this because I think it's going to go up and around through the pipe. I think it's going to go up here. Now, I guess it can't go through the Mediterranean, but there's no reason it can't come around here like everything else. That's why I'm not sure why we're not seeing it. But it's set for merge. It will eventually merge with it one way or another. Now, we don't have another, not really anything more to do here. These are all, yeah, I feel like I should send these to Aden as well. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do transport. We'll do the Empress Scotland, the Empress Australia, done. And we'll do transport. Okay, great. And we'll send those to Aden. Now, if it gives me another error message, I'm going to get pissed off because I'm not trying to go. It says it can't move to that destination, but watch this, right? It can move to where? It can move to Colombo, right? Okay. Well, that's not where we're going to set its home port. We're going to set its home port to Aden. That should work. Yeah, it will return to Aden. Okay, fine. So it's going to go to Colombo, sit there for a second, say, hey, what are we supposed to do? Well, then it'll go to Aden. These are really nice transport, right? 6440. Fantastic. Okay, that's Cape Town. We still need to get more things up to Mombasa. As some of this cargo comes in, cargo ships, I should say, we'll send them up to Mombasa. Right. Okay. So we already looked at Karachi. We've already looked at all of these, a couple of turns ago. They're fine. Let's go to Colombo. We've got it. We did. Yes. We have met our garrison requirement in Colombo. What an absolute embarrassment by me to have not met that until December 25th. But that is our Christmas present to Ceylon, which is to get the garrison requirement at Colombo met. How did that happen? It was probably because we put these replacements on. I would like to think that. We'll turn those on as well. Oh, no, actually it's not. It's because we brought this 9/18th Punjab. That's why it's here. Let's get them in combat mode. Yeah, you guys get ready for combat. You're the reason we did it. Uh, how ridiculous. I said I was going to bring them back to Kogala. We'll see about that. Let's look at this again. Is there something with essentially nothing in it? Not really. We could put the AA out there, but why? We could put this detachment out there, the one-third Ceylon detachment. Do I dare? Do I dare take any combat value out of Colombo? I guess I will. Let's send them down here. I just want to have a unit here, just so there's something. I mean, is this the biggest deal in the world? Obviously not. We could do it strategically. It's a 92-mile march. Let's get these guys in shape. They can walk it out, get their steps in. That all looks good. We've got 4 ships in port. Okay. Oh yeah, so we've got the Prince of Wales, the Repulse, the Dauntless, the Vampire. They're all sitting here. We also have the Hermes, the Cornwall, the Enterprise. I mean, this is just ridiculous. We've got all of these ships here with not a whole lot to do with them. I think the only thing that we're going to do, I think we'll take the Vampire out of here and have it run some ASW. There's no reason not to do that, right? So let's do ASW combat and we'll get the Vampire. And right, so we've got that on ASW. Let's do a patrol zone and we'll set boundary 1. Yeah, where do we want to do this? I always feel like this is where the Japanese are going to be. Is that realistic? I don't know, but I'm going to set this here and have it do it off of Trincomalee. So 1, sure, 2, and then we'll do 3 right there. So it's just do or do, and then we'll have it have a reaction of 2. Huh. I mean, this is only going to make it like twice, right? Gosh, well, it is what it is. I kind of wanted to have this bigger one. I feel like the Japanese, whether it be here, maybe I should have it run it right off Colombo. Um, Oh, wow, the vampire is Australian. We could use this down at Sydney. You know what? Heck with that. Heck with that. Let's send this down to Sydney eventually. Um, we need it down here after that submarine activity, and we've got things getting blown up around here. So let's clear that patrol zone. All right, and let's go back. And let's set the destination. Can it make it down to, should I have it go to Perth and all the way around? Probably. That's probably the fastest way to go. 99, it's only got a 75. Shit. Okay. Let's actually have it go to where first? Um, God, I don't want it to go to Darwin. Should I have it go to There's just not a good place. Hey, we've been well, we've been building up the Cocos. Did they have any fuel here? That's only 53, right? That's fine. And we full refuel? Sure. Let's see. We've got 3240 in fuel. It's not terrible. Well, you know what? This is an anti-sub ship. Let's have it go into Oosthaven. It should be able to come into Oosthaven and fuel up. It's got like 8 ASW. No, it's only got 2. Sorry, the Vampire's only got 2. Well, I was getting a little too excited for a 2 ASW. That looks pretty good, except I want the waypoint to actually go a little further west, like here, so it's not sailing down the backside of Sumatra, because the Japanese are starting to bomb there. So yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect. We'll bring it out here to Oosthaven. That should really be waypoint 1. Well, we're just going to leave it like that for now. All right, so that's Colombo. let's check out Madras. What's happening here? Nothing new, really. Let's look at the troops. Everything's at target. It's in combat mode. Perfect. Calcutta. We probably need to spend a little more time here at Calcutta. I mean, this is supposed to go to Pagoo, this B Squadron, 3rd Hussars Regiment. Do I dare take it to Pagoo, though? It's dangerous waters down there near Rangoon. Hmm. What is the value here? 16. I mean, is that really worth taking down there? I don't think it is. And I think I'm just going to take that off, leave it at Calcutta. Okay, and let's see. There was something else, right? This is on, oh, these are on rest. Okay, because they have really low morale. 38. Huh. That's an Indian unit. Okay, so that's 38. And what was the 43rd Cavalry Regiment? That's a British unit with a 29 morale. Wow, those guys are not happy about spending their time in Calcutta, to be sure. Okay, we'll leave them there. We also have this cargo task force. There's 7 victory value. We've got them on a CS, do we? No, we don't. Okay, they're loading supplies, heading for Rangoon. Boy, I don't know about that one. That's a tough one. Well, they're still loading up. We'll think more about it. We've got these fighters, these Blenheims that are here. What do we have in port? We have 8. Oregonian, that's a 6. Okay, so all of these will be a 6, right? The Luckenbach, the Montgomery, the Texan, the Oregonian. Those ships are so in between. It's like, are they the greatest ships in the world? Obviously not. I mean, they're 6-point cargo ships. That being said, sending 4 of them in there to get sunk isn't necessarily the right idea. Now, the Luckenbach, the Robert Luckenbach, has already tendered. It's a, it's a straight up gun or ammunition tender now. Ammunition, right? We don't want that here. We should get that out of here and sail that all the way back around to Australia. So let's do that. It's going to be a support ship. All right. I'm kind of stalling. If you couldn't tell, you're like, yeah, I know. I'm kind of stalling deciding what the heck I want to do with some of these units. First of all, let's have this go out to Colombo. What's the endurance? Oh, the endurance is fantastic. Okay, so we'll have that come out to Colombo, and then I think I'll bring it down to Perth as a home base, and then we'll sail it all the way around to Sydney. Um, does that look good? We could do that as like a waypoint. Why don't we do that? Um, use waypoints. Waypoint 1 will be Colombo. All right. And then we'll have its ultimate destination also be Perth and its home port. Okay, there we go. And around we go. Right. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. So we'll have that coming up there, go to Perth. What else? We've still got these cargo ships. I'm trying to decide. The Nord is a 5-point ship. That can definitely go into Rangoon. The Takawa is a 12. Nope, that's not going to Rangoon. So the Takawa, I think, we'll send to Colombo and let it kind of marinate there until we decide what we wanted to do with it. Where's the Takawa? Where is the Takawa? He says. In a task force. No. Am I crazy that I just saw that ship? Hold on. Oh, it's a transport ship. My bad. I'm sorry. It's an AP. All right. The Nord. Let's form a task force. We'll do a cargo task force for the Nord. Done. Now, can this actually jump in this one? These are all 12s, right? There's no reason it couldn't. It's got a 12. Okay, so I'll actually do that. That makes more sense. Let's transfer the Nord in. Done. All right. Makes it a little bigger, makes it a little harder to dock. Actually, now that I've done that, I'm rethinking it, but that's okay. We'll leave it like that. I think that it can get into Rangoon. I think it's got plenty of dock capacity to get that cargo task force in. Now then, we've got these four, and I think I'm going to send them over to Cape Town. I don't really want them to be like flying into Rangoon. And so let's go over here. We'll mini map it. We'll set their home port to Cape Town. And I'll set their destination to Cape Town. That being said, before we definitely decide, you say you just definitely decided that. But let's go to, okay, so we've got 71,000 in fuel here at Calcutta, 19,000 in supply. Let's go look at Rangoon. 51,000 fuel, 80,000 supply. Okay, that's looking pretty damn good. Defend at target. This is what we want to see. We've got a 529 assault value here. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not terrible. Flying Tigers getting whittled down. Only 7 serviceable aircraft here. 10 are damage. 1 is in maintenance. Here we've got 9, 1, and 8. Ugh. It's getting thin up here, gentlemen. 5, 0, and 2. And then we've got 3, 1, and a lot of damaged aircraft. Woo. We have got to get those repaired. Now, luckily, we've got a lot of good air support here. Uh, Overall support, we require 704, 863. Aviation support, we've got 75. We need 55. So all of those should get repaired if we can keep the Japanese off the airfield, essentially. And I may have to bump this up again, but I feel like their fatigue, well, that's not bad. It's 10 and 15. Okay, look at this. This unit's got 40 kills, and I'm upset about 8 damaged aircraft. We have lost 6 air to air and 1 here. Um, Okay, so we've lost 7 aircraft. We've killed 40. I mean, you can't complain about those kind of results. 35 and 9. Although, like I said, last turn, the Japanese really started to even that up. These Blenheims over here, they've got 3 kills. They've taken 5 losses of their own. That's not terrible for them, honestly. The Buffaloes have 9 kills. They've lost 5 in air to air. So, okay. Um, Rangoon, there's really not a whole lot to say about it. There's things unloading here. 46th Indian's almost off. The Nurpura got hit. It's actually on fire, and we're trying to get the 46th Indian off there. The Delaware Delawarean. See, I can speak English. The Delawarean and the Kanaloo or the Kanaloo potentially, they're unloading. Okay, they just got into port. Transport. These guys have gotten everything out. Get the hell out of here. Why are you still sitting here? Let's undock you. Get out of here. This cargo ship almost unloading. This was never docked, so there's a lot of AK capacity that's been unloading. Cargo Rangoon, it's headed back to Calcutta. Again, another cargo. This is like at full capacity. Let's dock that one. That one's never been docked. That one we just undocked. What do we have here? Dock task force. Okay. This just came in to unload. Gosh darn it. Get your guy out of here. I almost feel like we need to put this into like repair though. The Nurpura. I don't think we can do that when forces are unloading though. I'd hate to lose any of that. It's actually a good question. And these guys are unloading. You know what? Undog. Get out of here. Get out of here. And I'm going to dock them. Okay, and then I want to transfer the Nurpura. No, you can't do it. You can't get him out of here. He's on fire. The port's like, what? Get the 46th Indian off of there. Hopefully that will be put out and taken care of, and we can protect them. I mean, we've got some problems with our cap now at Rangoon, which is interesting because we didn't until the last like turn or two. So that's Rangoon. I think it looks all right. Let's just kind of look at the big overall situation. The Japanese have now based aircraft here at Taiping. So the Japanese are fully engaged in bombing Singapore. Can we tell what's here? Yeah, well, we can. We've got great detection on it. 78 fighters and 21 bombers. The air capacity is now 3 of 7. Okay, okay, so 3 is not great. They can't really get 4 engine aircraft off of that, but they can get 2 engine aircraft doing offensive missions. Kota Baru, right. Enemy unit 7. They've got them moving all down here to Kwanton. We're in full retreat. The Japanese are trying to get a little ahead of us. Now remember, we fought a battle here last time. They have now skedaddled, a real technical term there. They've now skedaddled back to Kuala Lumpur. We have troops coming out of here, heading back to Temela. Temela has 125. Kuala Lumpur has, make sure everybody's in combat at target. They are. Kuala Lumpur has 337 on the assault strength. Okay, so between them, they've got like 450, 460, something like that. What do we have in Singapore right now? And just what do we have in plane wise? Well, we'll get to that in a second. Let's look at the strength right now. Assault strength is only 309. Now, you would think with all of these units, we would actually have more. But we don't. We don't. What's the supply? 44,000 in Singapore. Okay, 107,340 in fuel. I would rather not all of that fuel get into Japanese hands. What do we have for our aircraft here? So we've got naval. Okay, these are all pretty much 223 now. We've got one 224. We had to go to these guys. We called a meeting. We said part of the 224 may be down. It's, commander error. No, I don't think it was. I think we did a good job getting them off. We just got a sub down there, and our anti-sub hasn't done the business. Um, all right. So we've got some escort. We've got, a lot of escort happening here. We've only got 10, 14. I'm just looking at pure escort missions. We've got, or well, cap, right? We've got 10, 14, 22. We've got 33 planes that are ready up in escort, all Buffalo ones, by the way. Let's put replacements on just in case we can get some of these planes in here. I would like to get as many Buffaloes as we can in there. All right, well, it's going to be a hell of a battle. I mean, I guess I've been told historically Singapore held out until February. It's December 25th. I mean, the Japanese are coming down the island, right? Once we get in Fortress Singapore, it will take them a little bit to starve us out, surround us, etc., etc. We'll bloody their nose. Not saying I'm loving the situation there. What's going on in Palembang? All right, loading fuel. I like that. They're headed to Perth by way of Oosthaven. We have this PC here. We have a local minesweeper here. Okay, okay. Look at all of this Japanese activity. Good gracious. I think they're coming to Tarakan. That's my prediction. We'll see what happens. Up here in the Philippines, you can see they're 1 hex out of Manila. Now, we still have a lot of strength here. I shouldn't have said that so soon. 336. Okay. I mean, it's quite a bit of strength. How about that? Batangas, this is where we lost some craft fighters. We will get all of this out if we can. Yeah, we tried. You can see up here, most of them are just damaged. We can't get them out. We can't really protect them either. They're like all damaged. That's too bad. Shoot. I wish we had a better answer to that. But pretty much, I think those are all going to get destroyed on the field, which will hurt my numbers. We've just got recon aircraft here. What's down at Baton? We've got these fighters. It's just one damage. We tried to get that out as well. Clark Field, this is where we have the majority of our strength, the 538 assault strength. Okay. Yeah, I think the Japanese are going to be coming for Tarakan. We'll see. They may just land over here somewhere and try to take the rest of Mindanao. I think they're coming for Tarakan, though. That'll be a lot of fun when they get down here. The guns of Tarakan shall sing, gentlemen. In Singapore, again, that's a tough nut to crack, for the Japanese. We'll put up all the fight that we can. Palembang, we're still getting stuff out of there. Batavia, Surabaya. We'll come down here on the next episode. We'll also look at some of these smaller islands. We went through what I changed in Moresby. We do have a couple of units going over to Boona, but we wanted that 30th Australian Brigade to be with their mates, right? Let them sit there, drink a pint with their mates. We didn't want to send the rest of the 30th over to Boona, so now we've got the Koi headed over there. We'll look at Darwin when we come back next time. Now, there was a sub here off of Melbourne and one off of Sydney that caused us some problems last time. It took some shots. I would call them pot shots. You coward in the Bass Strait. We don't see them now, though. I can tell you when we were offline, I went and looked at Nomaya, Comac. I changed this. I'm sending this base force down to Nomaya. The reason I'm doing it is because they have all the aviation support. And Nomaya has well, first of all, Comac has a level 0 airfield. Nomaya has a level 2 airfield. Why would we have a base force with all of our aviation support at Comac? So I'm going to send them down to Nomaya. On the other hand, I'm going to be sending, I think it's this French infantry regiment. It is. The new Caledonia detachment will be marching north up to Comac. Okay. I just thought that was the better way to do it because this base force with aviation support should really be down here, I think. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Luganville, we'll check that out. I've looked through all of these just because I hadn't done it last episode. So I did that while overlooking the beach, my friends. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I miss all of the chat. I miss having you guys tell me when I'm doing something crazy. We'll be back up next week at some point with the live chat because I miss it and I hope you do too. Anyway, this is Strategy Gaming Dojo. I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good one.